Hello, welcome back to the woods. And in this video, we're going to look at the loadout that I take when I go into the woods for a couple of nights at this time of year. So here's the pack. A lot of you will recognise it. It's my Swedish LK35. Not the lightest or most sophisticated pack in the world. However, it does have an external frame, and that means it's got this nice airspace at the back. And at this time of year, when it's very hot, having that little bit of airflow just flowing in under your back is absolutely ideal. As I said, it's nice and simple. You've got the external frame, not a lot in the way of pockets on the outside with this, although mine has been modified. A lot of you will notice in the back here, I've got a section of foam padding. Now that's not to protect my back, that's my little sit pad for while I'm out. It's just a little bit of kit mat, cut off, shoved in the back. It just gives me something to sit on while I'm out in the woods, saves me getting a wet bum or a cold bum. Also, when I'm getting a little bit old, if I'm kneeling, it helps protect my knees. Now obviously through the course of the day there's some bits that I'm going to want to get hold of. Not a lot at this time of year. The main one, tucked away in the side here, is a water bottle. And this is one of the Nalgene GI style ones. It's that slightly slimmer profile and it allows it to slip quite nicely down the side of those pockets. These are good, strong, robust and relatively cheap to buy too. Next up, something that I might need to get my hands on in a hurry during the course of the day is my first aid kit. So that lives in this little mesh pocket up on the top. I don't have to worry about this being mesh and the contents getting wet because it's in a little waterproof box. Also in the top here, I've got some insect repellent, which is an absolute must, particularly this time of year in the woods. You get an awful lot of little biters flying around. So this is something I may need to get to in a hurry. Also in the top, I've got my FUBAR headband. This is dual purpose. It's part of my medical kit because it can be used as an emergency tourniquet, but it's also a head strap for a small pen light. Now, my pen light, I normally carry my EDC pouch, but for tonight I'm out in the woods. I've got my little necklace on with my open L knife. I've got my little i3T from Olight, an antler whistle and my ferro rod. So I'm pretty much covered, and this is always around my neck where I know I can find it. So opening the pack up, the theme of having things to hand in the order that you need them continues. So my next item I'm going to pull out is my shelter. And for that I'm using this. And this is my Helicontex USGI style poncho. It doubles as my waterproof if I need one and as my shelter. Great bit of kit. This has been quite a wet summer in the UK. And this has been a constant companion. Really good bit of kit. To go with that, also for my shelter, I've got my jungle toggles in there as well, so I can get my shelter set up fast before I start unpacking the rest of my gear. Next, TBS water bottle and steel cup. I've also got in here the lid that goes with it, pot of tea bags, you know what's coming next, a little stove with some fuel and a windshield so I can get myself a brew when I need one. Also, I've got in here my little mini Wanigan, complete with a spoon on the side there, so that's everything I need for cooking in there. I've got my chopping board, I've got a container, I've got spices, I've got a net for draining stuff. I've got everything I need in this little pot. I've also got a little wooden bowl to eat out of. And as far as tools go, well, I tend not to carry too much. This time of year, I don't need an axe, neither do you. It's just extra weight. All I need is my little pruning saw, and obviously I've also got my little open L garden knife around my neck. So that's my tools sorted. I've also got in here one of my little Forester pouches, and this doubles as a collecting bag for if I'm out foraging, but also a water filter bag. So that, combined with this, gives me a way of gathering and treating water. So next up in the bag of wonders, I've got my food for tonight, all contained in a bag in there, but more of that later. I've also got, well, it's a bit of an extravagance, a bit of a luxury, but it goes with my dinner tonight. I'm carrying a full-size frying pan. This one's old and battered, a bit like me. I've had it for a lot of years. It's one that I used to use when I was a chef. It's a great, great pan, and it's worth bringing along for tonight's dish. I've also got in here my wash kit, so if I need to use the loo during the night, etc., everything I need is in there. I've also got my leather glove for handling hot stuff around the fire. I don't need two, just the one will do. It all adds to the weight. So if you can look for ways of saving weight, do it. Next up is the stuff that I want to keep dry. So that's all packed into one of these. And this is basically a big waterproof nylon bag. It's an immersion sack, I think they call them. It's surplus, the cheapest chips, ideal for chucking inside a rucksack to keep the contents dry. So I've got a wool shirt / jumper. It's nice and lightweight. At this time of year, you don't need anything more than that. I've also got tucked away in here this is an Alpkit cloud base inflatable mat. I've had it just over a year. Great bit of kit, very lightweight, as you can see, compresses down small. You have to blow into it, it's not self-inflating, but it is very, very good. Continuing the sleeping theme, it's my sleeping bag, and this is one of the lightweight inner bags for the new British issue modular system. This one that I've set up so it can be used with a hammock, but tonight I'm sleeping on the ground. I was just going to bring my Wooby, my US poncho liner, but it gets a bit buggy at night out in the woods, particularly at this time of year. So I've gone for this because this has got a little roll down insect screen that comes down across your face. And then last but not least, I've got this, and this is new. This is an Alpkit Hunker Bivy XL. It's their bigger version. I've heard lots of great things about it. Weighs less than 500 grams. Apparently is very, very breathable. So I'm going to give it a whirl this evening. Not that I think it's going to rain, just because I want to give it a try and see what it's like. There's an old rule, keep it simple, stupid. And this setup is just that. It keeps everything nice and simple. It's not overcomplicated. I haven't brought anything unnecessary along. I know a lot of people will disagree with it, but this works for me, and it's worked for a long time. With the exception of the hunker bivvy, everything else is very well tried and tested. It doesn't weigh too much, it works, and there's very little to go wrong with it all. If you enjoyed this video and you found it useful, then hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, remembering to hit that notifications bell. Also, in the description box down below, you will find links to my Instagram and Facebook accounts. Pop over there, give me a follow over on there as well. You can also have a look at my Etsy shop. Over there you will find my green craft patches, both the woven ones and the leather ones. There might be a few other bits and pieces coming up on there too, so keep your eye on the shop. And there is also a link over there for my spread shop. You can pop over there and get some merch, most notably some of my exclusive design green craft t-shirts. I think that's everything. I've been Neil, and until next time, stay safe.